I want to start off by saying I love Paris, I adore Paris, I thrive in Paris, and there's so many things that I love about the city that I could literally write a book on it. However, no city is perfect, so I thought I'd share 5 things that I've struggled with since moving here. For context, here's a bit about me. I am a 20-year-old living in Paris. I'm in my 2nd year of bachelor's degree at the Sorbonne and I study Spanish. I literally want to live in Paris my whole life. Like, genuinely, I want to stay here. These are also from a student perspective. So 5 things a student might need to take into account if they're moving to Paris. I found making French friends really tricky. And I think there are 3 reasons for this. One is French people are like coconuts. So when you first approach them, they're quite reserved, they're quite hard to crack, but once you do crack them, they are very loyal, lovely people. However, it takes time to sort of get to know a French person and for them to reach a level of trust with you. You need to sort of make a friendship around a certain activity where you're seeing them weekly, where you can slowly build up that relationship with them. Because I started university during COVID times, all my classes went online, and so it was hard to sort of have that weekly activity where I meet people at university. For me, language barriers has also come into this in the way that, like, I know that my French isn't on complete native standard, which means that I'm a lot more reserved, I'm a lot shyer when I do speak French, so perhaps my personality doesn't come out as much, and so I'm not as outgoing and interesting and enthusiastic as I would be in English. A lot of Parisian people also grow up in Paris. They go to school here, they go to secondary school here, they go to university here, and so they maintain their childhood friendship groups, which means that cracking into that friendship group is extremely hard. Also, a lot of students who come to study in Paris live actually on the outskirts of Paris, and so it takes a lot of time to come in and out of the city, like sometimes hours. It's a lot harder to make plans with them because obviously they've got their friends from home, and then going out is a lot harder with them because all the metro like shuts at around 1 a.m. A lot of people don't want to pay an Uber to get back home, which is completely understandable, but it's just harder to make friendships than it would be in a British uni, for example. All that being said, making French friends is possible. If you make the effort, they will speak back to you, and often they're just shy with their English, which is why they don't necessarily open up as easy. And also, I've kind of changed mindset. Like, when I first came here, I was obsessed with making Parisian friends. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make loads of Parisian friends, like friends with the locals, and it's like, you don't need to do that. International friends, I've built such incredible international friendships, and with a lot of those international friends, I speak French with them, and you don't need to necessarily have French friends from Paris centre. Also, a lot of French people coming from the province, so other places in France, other cities in France, they're often a lot more open to making friendships because they've obviously left their home, left their friendship groups as well. So it is definitely doable to make French friends. It's just something that I personally have really struggled with. I've also only been here for a year, like just over a year, so I think that also contributes. For a student, Paris is extremely expensive. Firstly, housing prices are through the roof, but I thought I'd especially talk about like going out. Like, eating out is expensive. Bars and clubs are also pretty expensive. Like, it's not uncommon to go to a club and them charge you like 13 euros for a shot, which is really tough on students. It's like, you have to before going to bars and clubs, or you just end up like not drinking. Like, there's been loads of nights out where I don't drink simply because the drink prices are astronomical, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I guess it's sort of taught me how to have fun sober, like completely stone cold sober. Of course, there are cheaper places that you can know of, and there are some clubs which you can get in for free, but you just need to know them. Like, it's painful. Getting input with promoters is another way of getting around expenses. You can contact promoters and they'll get you into clubs, but it's very much unfair for guys because girls can do that, but I think it's a lot harder as a guy to get in with a promoter. I don't even know if that exists. I'm just editing, and to just give you an idea on some ridiculous Parisian bar prices, me and my friend were at Isa Pigalle the other night, and we met a group of guys and we asked them how much they'd paid for the table, and they had paid 1,700 euros for the night. 1,700 euros. Like, what the hell? There are other ways around the expensive club scene. Promoters. preeing before or just not drinking, eating in, having dinner dates. Also, when Paris hits summer, that is where it's like incredible, because you can get a really cheap bottle of wine, go onto the Seine and sit by the Seine, and you're like, you have the time of your life. You've got so many people picnicking, eating, drinking outdoors. It's such an amazing vibe. So like as soon as summer hits, this is not a problem at all. It's just winter. I live alone, and although I absolutely love it now, I thrive, it was kind of tricky at the start because I was an 18-year-old just leaving home. Living alone can be tricky. In French universities, obviously it's different for maybe international or English universities, I'm not really sure how that works, but for French universities there isn't like set university accommodation. Like not everybody lives together in the first year of uni, so it's a lot trickier to sort of mix and mingle and like make friends in that way. There's not really a campus feeling. So if you've just moved out of home, it can feel a bit isolating. That being said, as soon as you start making friends, or like that loneliness can get like thrown out the window, because you sort of do build up your community and build up your friendships. But at first it can be a bit of a shock, like, oh my God, I'm alone in this big city. Leading on from that, feeling anonymous is definitely a reality and can feel extremely daunting with so many people rushing around living their own lives. Like you don't matter, like you're literally just one in many, like a crowd of people just going through life. The amount of existential thoughts, like waves of thoughts that have literally just hit me when I'm like sitting on the metro is insane. Like it honestly can be so crazy and scary to realize how complex the world just is. However, sometimes flipping that anonymous feeling on its head, putting in some earphones and like walking out that door and thinking I can be whoever I want to be, I can dress however I want to dress, like this is a city, this is my oyster, can be really liberating. And that sheer amount of people also means that you can meet so many people as well. Administration is exhausting. Administration is horrible here. Like admin, I feel like I spend my life, there's always something I've got to be doing. Like I still don't have my national insurance card, like that has still not come. I need to renew my passport. I can't find any way of doing it online. Like when you call people up, they're just really harsh and not very friendly on the phone especially. And it's like the amount of emails I've sent. When I first came to uni, it took me like 3 months to get my student card. Like what is that about? Like it's tricky. But that being said, living in France and dealing with the administration teaches you how to be persistent. And I think that is a life skill that I will keep forever for sure. Living in one of the best cities in the world, in my opinion, can lead to a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out. It can feel quite exhausting sometimes to always feel like you've got to be doing something, because there's so much to do. There's so many galleries, museums, clubs, etc, etc, etc. It's like you always feel like you should be out doing something, and it's like sometimes you are allowed to just sit at home and do nothing. Like that is okay, that you don't have to be milking like every single second out of Paris, even though sometimes it really feels like you should be doing that. It's not really a con, but like sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming. It's okay to have bad days. Like often living in Paris, you're like, why am I feeling upset? Like you're literally living the dream, and it's like you're still a human being, and it's okay to have down days in Paris, and know that it's okay to take a break. Like you don't need to always be doing something 24/7. Okay, so that's it. As you can see, like it was really hard to just even come up with 5. Like I literally love Paris from the bottom of my heart. Like I do still love it here, obviously. I'll see you in the next one. Bisous, bye.